Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new paint and talk, and this time I want to talk about terrain. I like to think that terrain is almost the third player on some games. Okay, we have a lot of discussions in channels about if terrain about if the armies are balanced, not balanced, if this is fair, unfair. But one thing that we overlook a lot of times is the terrain really balanced? What type of terrains we use? In Warhammer 40k, the amount of terrain can make one army much more viable than others. If you have a very shooting army, and of course everything is open terrain, it's going to be a huge advantage to the armies with a lot of shooting. And I have the impression we always like, I think it's changing a little bit, but we find more on, especially in tournaments where they don't have too much terrain, you find more with less than more terrain. So it's more common to see that there is not too much terrain in some tournaments. So when we talk about balance and terrain, it's very important. So in 40k, for example, it's very important to have terrain that is blocking line of sight. I think it's very important to have terrain that is giving cover. It's important to have terrain that is blocking movement. So I think that the terrain is something that is overlooked in a lot of games, and can balance or can unbalance games. Of course, there are battles where the terrain is going to be the center part of the battle, right? If you do a siege battle or something like that, terrain is going to be the center part. But yeah, what I want to say here is in Warhammer 40k, terrain is very important, and if you have the feeling that always shooting is doing better than close combat armies, why do you try to play with the terrain and try to balance the game using the terrain? Terrain can be another balance factor, a lot of time overlooked. In Age of Sigmar, I don't see the terrain that important because the shooting is, can be important, but I don't think it's as strong as in Warhammer 40k. So terrain for me, and as I said, it's like as well. I will talk about 40k kill team. If you want to have a fair battle, I think it's important to not just to give advantage to the shooting. You have to have terrain that is blocking line of sight, that is blocking vision, that is blocking also movement, to make interesting, to give sense to flank attacks, to make sense for close combat armies, to give sense to medium range, because if not, all these armies can lose a lot of interest if terrain is not there. In Age of Sigmar, I don't think terrain is that important, but it's also good to have terrain that it's giving some variation. One thing that, and then going to another system, and one thing that is frustrating a little bit me on terrain is on the 9th Age in Fantasy. Because normally terrain was something negative where you don't want to interact. It was more there to block movements, to give negative bonus. Normally in these games, terrain is a negative thing, so you don't want to interact with the terrain most of the time. It's a risk to go into terrain, and most of the players avoid the terrain. What is a pity. This is why I'm more in favor of how to use the terrain in Age of Sigmar or in Warhammer 40k, where there can be some negative points, can block movement, can block line of sight, but it's also giving cover, and it can give some other positive inputs, right? So, summarizing, when you do your games of 40k, think always, if you have terrain, important to have some line of sight blocking terrain, and experiment. Go from very dense to more open terrain, but I suggest you don't always use the same balanced terrain. Unbalanced terrain as well is giving some opportunities, especially if you do friendly games. Play with the terrain. It's giving a lot of options. It's giving new opportunities for battles, and terrain is very interesting. In Kill Team 1, I played, like if you play Necromunda in these corridors, or Kill Team in the Rock Trader scenarios. This is really close combat terrain, so any long range weapon there, it's losing a lot of efficiency because there are not too many shooting corridors in these scenarios. And I think it's giving a new dimension to the game that is also very interesting. How to fight in close or in close environments, right? So that's all what I want to talk here. As you see here, I'm painting. Start to finish to paint the painting job on the terrain that I'm doing for. This is the terrain that is coming in the what you call this, the Imperial Knight Renegade, and this terrain will go will be used for the armies on parade. So I hope you have liked. Please leave in the comments below what do you think about terrain and how important is for you terrain. It's something I have to say. It's something that is not the thing that I fancy the most doing terrain. Although from time to time I like to do my pieces of terrain. That's what I'm doing now. But I have to say it's very important to have nice terrain and good terrain in your battles. It's the whole experience. What for me it's the driver in Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, and all the games that I play. So that's all. Just a little chat about the terrain, especially oriented to Warhammer 40k and Kill Team. If you think that some units are, if you see that the shooting is too strong, put more terrain. If you think that the close combat is too strong and there is no opportunities for the shooting, play with the terrain. So always use the terrain as the third player, as another way to balance your game. This will be my advice. So that's all for now. I hope you have liked this video, a short one. And as usual, thanks a lot for watching and see you again later. Bye!